and recording now. So shall I do the intro?
Yes.
Yeah?
Just a second.
Sure.
I do want us to see the live stream first again.
Yeah, it's cold enough to neck.
Yep, it's working again.
Yeah.
Your taskbar is showing too.
Yeah, it will do. I'm just capturing the display.
No worries.
Right.
Check.
So,
okay.
everybody
Go
good?
ahead.
Michael
Yes.
Mars, you're still muted on audio. And we've got Mike and Jammer. For anybody that's going to be watching this, we've got Mike and Jammer here. Really cool people.
Yeah. I just thought I'd put her on camera.
So,
We'll get Curly back a bit.
we're getting Curly in on it.
Yeah, Curly will come in.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
So, welcome to the first Total Space Coffee Club, everybody. Cargay's video feed has dropped off, as you can see. But that's not a worry. Michael Mars is also trying to fix his audio, but I'll explain the rules. Everybody's going to get a cup of coffee, as you can see. Everybody present your coffee. And then once said coffee is drunk, the coffee cup is gone, just like my little cup here. Once that happens to everybody, the show is over. New concept, we're bringing it here exclusively on Odysee, so thank you for joining us today, guys. This will be an irregular show. It's not necessarily part of our regular upload cadence, but for anybody that's viewing here on Odysee, you should definitely contemplate following us to get an opportunity to come and partake in this. We will be posting a link under this video afterwards, so you can come over to the Coffee Club server and join in, bring a coffee, bring some conversation, and come tell some war stories.
Definitely.
So I'm another space nut.
Good.
I'm considered the founder of Total Space. I think that's a bit of an unfair statement. We founded it as a team of people, a very dedicated team of people, but generally people point to me as the boss guy. Does everybody else want to introduce themselves? While Michael Mars is still fixing his audio.
Hi, I'm Mikko, and I host the deep dives on our Total Space network. And I was there right from the start with Aaron and Ryan, who is not on the show tonight.
And I'm Kage. I'm one of the co-hosts of Becoming Multiplanetary, one of the shows here on the Total Space
Don't
Network.
hear you.
No?
I do.
I can hear too.
Oh.
I think it's Shabolsk's audio.
Also, an update on Michael Mars's audio. I still had him server deafened, so now if he was to try and hit that key again, it might actually work.
Can you hear me all right, everyone? Am I coming through on the
Yes.
screen?
Yeah, you can
Now it's
on the
better.
stream.
So of course, I had no rights. The rights were disabled.
We've fixed that problem. Sorry, that was my mistake.
Okay, so let's try that again. Hi, I'm Kage. I'm one of the co-hosts of Becoming Multiplanetary here on the Total Space Network. The other co-host, Rich LB, will be joining in a few minutes. He's currently wrapping up some video edits for one of our next episodes in the 7-part mega series Humans in Space that we are doing with To the Future. So he'll join us shortly.
I've got an extra coffee cup on standby.
Yeah, we'll just email him a coffee.
Yeah.
What are you drinking,
And
Kage?
To the Future is also on Odysee.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I'm Mike, and that was Jama that was just sitting here next to me. She's going out to get Curly the space chicken. We're just kind of fans of the whole YouTube Odyssey adventure rocket thing that we're having. We just wanted to join in since we were just swapping war stories. I've been around a while. So I have a few.
Is there any chance you can just bring the microphone a little bit closer, Mike? It's a little bit low in audio. I fear some of the people viewing this may miss out.
Is that a little better?
Try one more time, just a little bit closer for me.
Wow, I should have done this first. Yeah. Better?
Yes.
Better.
All right.
Fantastic.
How many can get their dogs in this fast?
Yeah.
Come on, chicken.
And we've got chicken. We've got Curly the space chicken, folks.
Everybody.
That's nice.
Come on, Kelly. Come on. That's it.
You can do it.
Yeah, introduce yourself, guys.
Yeah, well, I'm
I got it, Tim.
Benno, Jettison guy. Been digging the Discord for the last couple of years, following the SpaceX program, Starship program, and this war stories. The war stories are there because I've seen a few sun rotations.
Yeah.
But it's always good to get in the chat and hang out with you guys and talk shop and talk trench talk, whatever we got. I don't know.
That's
But,
the
yeah,
surprise with the
just-
coffee club. We just don't know where the talk's going to go.
I was kind of wondering what everyone's drinking, like specifically what blends.
Specifically for me, it is Kenko Millicano. Not sponsored by Kenko, but I knew this question would come up, so I kept this tub handy.
Kenko.
And I do have a general Finnish brand of coffee.
Nice.
I have a latte macchiato, and I don't know if you can read this.
Moonshine.
Moonshine.
Oh, man.
So, good time to introduce
No, no,
yourself,
coffee.
Michael. Would you like
It's
to
re-
introduce
it's real
yourself to the
coffee.
viewers?
Coffee. Look, it's real coffee. Yeah, so I'm just a new patron for and actually I enjoy the show a lot. So I think okay, so perhaps I can support a little and become a more active member of the community. And I'm very interested in space affairs. So in development of technology, and so I thought, okay, I'm a stay at home dad actually. My wife has a business, so she's in dentistry, and so I thought I have to do something for myself. And my profession is actually system engineer, but due to the success of my wife, I'm a stay at home dad. So yeah.
I think that's pretty much the most common factor with a lot of us there, Dutch. We all sort of fell into this thing at the start where we had the same kind of thing, where it's like the fancy of being a space enthusiast or whatever, or a sci-fi guy, or just a person that likes a good time or likes learning. But
Yes.
I think that's the crux of the community in the beginning for me, like especially with Miko and Aaron, just really going through the trenches, trying to build up a lot of YouTube communities and learning a lot about what's good, what isn't, how do you go about learning these things. I mean, a lot of it is sharing ideas in how to become a content creator or do production itself as well. And through the network, you've got these amazing results because we were all pretty much, not going to speak for everyone, but I could say a lot of us have been involved with the research behind the scenes, probably a year and a half before the fruition of Total Space and things like that. So there's a vast majority of people in this community that have got wealths of knowledge and are always searching for more as well. So it's like it's not gonna run dry for that new patron anytime soon.
It's constantly moving forward. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, the backstory of like kind of finding yourself here is kind of very common. Like when I first met Nico and Aaron, it was like, what's going on? What are we doing? It's like we're looking at this guy who's building a rocket in his paddock, and we're going to see what's up with that. And then that was kind of like, is this going to be our Apollo? there's that part of it. There's the meeting of people behind the YouTube camera and going to join a channel, and then Discord, giving us that opportunity to go right in behind the scenes, not like a special features on a DVD. You're actually in there with the crew, learning about it, wondering what's going on with the next episode, seeing what the content creators are going to bring to the next show, what they're excited about.
In the trenches, making war stories.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
just sitting here, seeing all those screens in one shot right now is kind of a mind blow, in the sense of
Actually,
being
when you
around.
get your hands in the dirt and you work with it, you learn much better, much quicker. So, I can imagine that when you develop something, you learn yourself also.
Yeah, and you constantly
Teach yourself.
you end up with the space thing as well. Like, you end up finding yourself asking. I find myself asking the question, like, if I was to do something similar, what would be the way you do it? What would be the subjects you like? What kind of thing would you want to do? Like, the podcast, the YouTube, the Odysee, the sharing with friends, just learning how to get confidence to even put your face on a camera, which regrettably I haven't even bothered to set up yet. But that's regrettably for me, not for other people, or it could be the other way around. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, in the sense of us just being here having some coffees, you guys are set, but me having a coffee right now, people are about to get up and have it for a function. I'm having it for recreation.
I mean, it's recreational here as well, but I just want to quickly say, we didn't introduce Shabalski here. Would you like to introduce yourself, Shabalski?
Oh yeah. So I was always interested in space. I was following space news since I was a kid, and for example, first stuff was HOTOL. That was a very special project I followed, and at the time there was no internet, and it was only the TV shows where people could get information about this kind of stuff. So as internet started, I followed all the space news sites, gathered all the information I could get, but lately, as YouTube channels started to show up and bring more information and more focused, lot of data about specific projects. That was very interesting, and I saw that I am interested in that much. So perhaps I can do something, and I contacted actually Felix from What About It, and then I wrote him that I think his show is that good, that interesting, and that important for the future, that it would be nice to have it in with Hungarian subtitles, so the Hungarian people could see it, the ones who are not talking English in that level, they could get that info as well. So I contacted Felix, and and actually the first people I met at What About It, it was Aaron and Mikko. So yeah, and that's a very great start. So and from that, yeah, I started to help with the subtitles, and now there is a very good team who are creating subtitles. I actually stopped creating the Hungarian subtitles, which is a bit of a shame, but but I help with the English, and I help also with organizing and uploading the new ones. And I was invited here to the Total Space Network, which is also very awesome. And this I really like how this big not only virtual, but in virtual space, this big community is building around the world, collecting people who are really interested in space and want to do something about it. And I know there are some people who wanna leave to Mars for sure, right?
Mars, here we come.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but that's a long way. But
Long way.
but it's a very exciting time, and I agree with you that it's like it's developing in a faster pace. The rocketry, and the space program. So that's it's actually the comment about feeling like Apollo times.
Yes.
I feel that also. Actually, I have like the same feeling about it. So I think it's very exciting
Very much.
and very very inspiring and very
Good.
Yeah, very very cool actually. Yeah.
A really good segue, since Sabolska was just talking about the captioning and Michael was just talking about Mars. We do have Susie listening in. She does have permission to speak. She is the hopefully the first Martian baker. So when we're all on Mars, we're going to be able to nip down to Susie's bakery and get some baked goods.
Oh yes, there will be coffee for everyone, and it will be the coziest place on the least cozy planet in our solar system. So
Yeah.
we will build a cozy corner.
And
for
do you have a
everyone.
coffee with you tonight, Susie?
Pardon?
Did you bring your coffee to Coffee Club tonight?
Oh yes, I have coffee, and it's a decaf.
A
Because
decaf.
yes, it's too late in the evening to have regular coffee, so it's a decaf.
That's why I'm not actually drinking coffee in my cup, but I'll let you all guess
And
what's in the
Susie, where do you imagine
Moonshine.
the Mars bakery? So, for example, could it be in the side of a big canyon with a nice view, or Mars, for example? How about that?
I think it must be close to the habitat modules, because it must be easy to reach, and it must be on the way to work and on the way to school and on the way for everyone to reach their morning destination. So it will be, a landmark and a place where everyone will be welcome. I'm still a bit out of my depth about how I will be able to bake any goods on Mars, because I think, the basic ingredients will be very difficult to get on Mars, but we will get there.
We'll get creative, Susie.
I'm confident.
Yeah,
Mars
looking
cookies.
forward to that day.
That'll
So-
be the day Elon drops 200 tons of flour onto Mars.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
at this point,
we will ask him for a starship full of flour.
Hmm.
yeah,
Chicken.
Another one full of sugar.
yeah.
How many
Flour
tons
power.
is that? How many tons of flour will there be?
120 each shot.
What's the cargo capacity of the Starship?
140.
I don't know.
Around 100 tons.
From 100, the optimist estimation was 150, maybe.
Yeah,
That was the
big
most
one.
I've heard.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cookies. That's a lot of cookies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a lot of cookies, a lot of pasties, lots of pies and cakes. So yeah, we'll make the most of it.
Do you
Could
think
you use
Starship the eggs?
what's that,
we
Mike?
can
Would Starship break the eggs? Transport the eggs in the Starship?
just send
Yeah.
up a
That's
big
the
tank like the fuel tanker ones. Just send it full of pre-cracked eggs.
Or the bow shop.
Yeah.
That'll take care of that.
Well, eggs are a bit tricky to transport. They suffer the turbulences much more than flour and another
Yeah.
ingredient. So it's a bit tricky as a cargo.
And chicken, yeah,
Send the chicken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah.
Should we send
The
Curly?
space chicken.
Yeah, Curly wants to go.
Curly's already got a helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does already
Yeah.
have a helmet.
Yeah.
Where's Marco's render?
Yeah. At
He
this
hasn't
point, I would
introduced
like
himself
to thank a few people because we have actually gotten a few donations on the stream. So Thomas, who is part of the Odysee team, tipped us 500 coins. Then there's Flight Pandemics with 1. Marco Makuc with 0.27. Then there's Miko with 25. And Lex Tanebris with 1. Thank you.
Is that? Yeah. Thank you. Is
Thank
that
you.
you, Miko, or another Miko?
It's another Miko with 1k.
But there can only be one Miko.
Yeah.
Is this like the battle for the Joshes last week, where like
Yeah,
60
yeah,
plus
exactly.
Joshes fought it out in
Yeah.
a big field?
Miko, you and Miko need to go have a swimming pool noodle fight to figure out who is the ultimate Miko.
Or Thunderdome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But why,
Two
why
Miko
don't we
enter,
ac-
one Miko leave.
Yeah. Why don't
Go
we
away,
actually?
only one
One.
comes back.
Go, Miko.
Why don't we actually
Wow,
talk
yeah.
a bit about Odysee since we are doing a live stream here?
Sure.
So, at first, when Aaron introduced me to Odysee, I was a bit skeptical, but
But
since
everybody
then,
is.
yeah. So since then, well, it's become pretty much our main platform. We are actually making some money out of it. And on YouTube, we still can't make anything. We don't have enough subscribers.
Like, this is the thing. Initially, when I heard about Odysee, I was like, man, I'm going to debunk the crap out of this. I really like the idea of making them look silly. And then the more I looked at the platform, the more I'm just like, how can you actually argue with the logic of Odysee? You know, like, I speak with Tom on a fairly regular basis, and I'm such an advocate, you know, like, I've gone out and I understand, like, on Thomas's Twitter profile, it says, library's #1 fan and early employee. I'm like, I can understand why he's their #1 fan as well, you know, he's at the top, and he's worried, like, freedom of speech, you know. Just a couple of minutes ago, I was sat smoking a cigarette here on Odysee. Couldn't dream of doing that on YouTube without upsetting somebody. Genuinely great platform.
And it's also, if you look at how Linus Tech Tips, a channel on YouTube, they started their own video platform. Oh God, I'm blanking out on its name all of a sudden.
Floatplane.
Floatplane, yes, thank you. They started their own YouTube competition called Floatplane, which is meant to give creators a lot more control over the content that they provide. It's a subscription-based platform, so in order to view most of the content there, you actually have to subscribe individually to the channels. It's a monetary subscription, and it's a really interesting concept, especially considering that the reason why Linus Tech Tips started that was because they were getting so frustrated with how the YouTube platform just changes or moves the goalposts, changes the rules arbitrarily, and is completely intransparent about it. They just make up the rules as they like, which is extremely frustrating and even critically damaging for a lot of content creators, considering that there are many out there who use YouTube as their sole source of income.
Yeah.
So when you're effectively your employer, in a sense, just completely changes how you're able to get paid, what you get paid for, the rules by which it's determined whether or not you get paid. And also, especially given how YouTube is so extremely aggressive with copyright maximalism in a way that is just far, far beyond what is in any way fair to content creators. It's completely lopsided in the favor of anyone who says, "Yep, I'm a big corporation. I own copyrights. Oh, okay, we're just going to default to you, and believe whatever you say. Sorry, there's ambulance outside.
No worries.
That we're just going to default to you, believe whatever you say, even if you lie, even if you completely violate the Digital Millennium Copyright Act and actually break that law. We don't care. We're just going to defer to your judgment and never hold you accountable for making anything up. So it's YouTube is not very friendly when it comes to content creators in a lot of ways.
And I mean, it's the lack of communication as well. A prime example of this. Last week, I got a notification to say 42 had uploaded. I go to watch the video on YouTube's like, confirm your identity. I'm like, I'm a content creator. I shouldn't need to confirm my identity. I'd literally upload content for your subscribership. I mean, luckily in that particular instance, 42 is also right here on Odysee. So rather than having to give my details over to YouTube and feed the G machine, I was able to just come onto Odysee and watch that video. You know, the lack of human communication in that instance is like, if you try and call somebody at YouTube or, you know, directly speak to a person, even over a messaging platform to somebody at YouTube, that's an impossible task. Tom's in my inbox at any point, you know, like he's super helpful. If I've got any questions, anything like that, it's usually, hey Tom, look, you know, I'm a complete noob, how do I do this? And within minutes he's responding. He's part of the upper team at library, you know, like you don't get that, like even on the podcast platforms we don't get that engagement, and we are on a lot of podcast platforms, you know, and as you were correctly pointing out, Miko, we haven't even qualified for the partner program on YouTube. You know, we've got such amazing content.
Do you need?
We need 1,000 subs. We need 1,000 subs and 4,000 view hours.
4,000 view hours is the kicker. You need people to have publicly watched 4,000 view hours on your channel before YouTube will even put you on what they call the partner program, which is just, I mean, that is the way you would get monetized if you're not a creator. The partner programs like the steps towards monetization. We've had that from day dot here on Odysee.
Yeah.
You're nice,
So
4,000 hours. I ain't gonna watch 4,000 hours of you guys.
Yeah, but just to finish what I was saying there. The thing that's really frustrating about YouTube, going back to what you were saying a moment ago, Space Nut, that there's a like it's practically impossible to reach an actual human being in the YouTube platform. The few content creators that actually do have a direct channel to a YouTube representative, those YouTube representatives often don't really have a whole lot of power. They're just there to basically just be someone that a content creator can complain to, and they're just like, "Yep, I know that sucks. I can't do anything for you," which is really frustrating, especially considering, like I said, so many of those, actually, pretty much all the content creators that do have that kind of a direct channel to a YouTube representative, they're the ones that are doing this. Almost all of them, I imagine, are doing this as their sole source of income. So if your interface with let's call it like a human resources representative is just going to be like, yep, sorry, you're not getting paid for that, and there's nothing I can do. Sucks for you, buddy. I know. I wish I could help you, but I can't. That's pretty bad. And so to have a platform like Odysee, which is quickly growing to be a competitor, a direct competitor to YouTube, and potentially even a successor, that's really big, especially given that YouTube is the place that you go for doing this sort of thing. Yes, there's also Twitch and a few other platforms, but again, Twitch has been falling a lot in the YouTube direction, where if you play like 10, 15 seconds, or maybe even less than that, 10, 15 seconds of music that could be potentially copyrighted, immediately your video is shut down, you're demonetized, you're put on a probation period, you're given a irrevocable warning. If you get too many of those, you're deplatformed. It's just all algorithmic, and there's no human connection anymore. So to have something that's new and competitive, and also fair and slanted in the favor of the content creators rather than major corporations, that's actually something really awesome. And Yeah, and it's really really cool to see that Odysee is growing as rapidly as it is to really hopefully soon become a serious threat to YouTube and make YouTube have to rethink how they focus their business model. They probably won't, because ultimately it's Google behind it, and they couldn't possibly care less. But at the very least, if it gives content creators another alternative to monetize in a way that is a lot more fair to them, that's huge. So
how do you get it out there? But how do you get it out there that you have like this whole other platform that
like this
that needs to compete with the YouTube?
Like this, you need to have
Like
content
this,
creators like us promote it and say, hey, yes, you can catch us on YouTube, but you can also catch us on this new platform, Odysee, which is really great. Has it's like all those. If you go back 7-8 years to what YouTube used to be, that everyone fell in love with, why people used YouTube, it's that and more. And it requires people like us to promote it and say, hey, come catch us on Odysee. If you're sick and tired of YouTube just injecting 15 ads in a 20-minute video, it is super annoying. If you're
really irritating.
And content creators often don't even have the power to stop that. They can even go in and say disable ads, and YouTube's like, screw you, no, we're gonna inject ads anyway.
So
if you don't like it, then don't use our platform and don't get paid.
If you disable ads as a creator, all you're doing is taking your income away from those adverts. It's not necessarily removing them. And they're hyper-focused adverts as well. It's like, in order for YouTube to give you relevant adverts, what they're doing is they're taking all your browser data from Google Chrome, and they're hyper-targeting. You know, you've been looking at maybe a pair of sneakers for your nephew or your cousin or something like that, and then all of a sudden you're bombarded with emails and advertisements about sneakers. You know, that it's this hyper-focused, like, I call it the G machine. You're just feeding Google constantly, just data for Google. And Odysee, I mean, I genuinely, like I say, I came into it to debunk it. I was like, ha, this guy's sending emails, I'll show him what for.
But in the end, all those video platforms, they begin that way. They begin Odysee. Okay, we want new content creators, but then you hope that they'll stay that way. So that's always a point also, because YouTube didn't start out with all the commercials. They started out, and everything was fine, and they get more and more restrictive.
Well, I mean, the simple answer to that is if Odysee grows to be as big as YouTube and turns into what YouTube is today, then more competition should rise up and put them in their place. And then content creators can shift over to that. But hopefully Odysee remains true to its startup ethics and does not turn into that G machine, as Space Nut put it. And
I don't want to be a cynic, but
so
markets,
I mean, it's
markets.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you know, at the end of the day, Odysee is a company, and they got to make money. And if it is in their best business interests to be more like what YouTube is today, well, that's their decision to make. That's they're fully entitled to do so. But if it doesn't work out for the content creators that depend on that platform, then another competitor will potentially start up and pull content creators over to that platform. I mean, that's
there needs to be a good alternative.
Yeah, I mean, if you go into into a real libertarian definition of a free market, not a U.S. libertarian, or rather a neo-libertarian definition. If you go into a real libertarian definition, free market means that you're supposed to have competition of companies against each other, a fair competition of companies against each other. And so, you know, if Odysee drops its ethics, then free market should step in, and something else should come in and take its place. But hopefully it doesn't get to that point. Hopefully Odysee stays true to its ethics. And you know, I'm committed to see what Odysee develops into, and hopefully it's stays like it is and gives content creators everything that they used to enjoy out of YouTube half a decade ago and more, which it already is, and hopefully it stays that way. And I guess time will tell as Odysee grows and hopefully brings a shared success model to itself and the content creators that will depending on it.
I actually made a new Odysee account today, so I just joined today, this morning.
Yeah.
So on
And
Odysee, so
I will actually read Thomas's comment from the stream. The other big thing is that we are building an open source platform, an open source method. So if we start being evil, someone can copy over everything we did and do it in a better way.
Okay,
with
that's
all the
very
same
positive.
content.
That's strong.
Once again, while we're talking about the things that Odysee does still, like the other great thing is, the payment method, the monetization method. A lot of creators will, talk about money and the like. Everything we've earned here on Odysee is in cryptocurrency. So it's great for two reasons. One, the Odysee platform allows us to use our earnings to support the content. It means showing more of you lovely people here on Odysee these videos. Secondly, that the income that we've earned will inflate along with the expected sort of rates that we're going to be seeing with blockchain. And so it means if you're dedicated and you're willing to put the risk there now and support content, like the same value we've got now, even if we stuck at the same amount of library coins, we might find that 3-4 times the value is the case in 10 years time. And that for us as creators is great. I don't for the foreseeable imagine us taking any of the coins away from the platform even.
And on that note, actually, right now, Odysee and other cryptocurrency platforms are facing some serious threats from the Security and Exchange Commission in the United States. And there's also European Union is looking into it a bit more. I don't think that they're actually taking any legislative or legal actions yet, but they might. So if you look just underneath the video, if you didn't click the X on it, there's a kind of like a pink notice there of help library save crypto. If you did click on the X on that, just go to help LBRY, so library just without the vowels, help LBRYSaveCrypto.com, and learn how you can support a cryptocurrency to stay in existence. And
it is a fight against cryptocurrency. The reason they're targeting library is because they believe that the team here hasn't got the cojones to step up against the SEC. But ultimately, creators such as ourselves, and I believe any creator on the platform, should be openly, especially if you're in America, feel free to write letters in support of Odysee to congressmen and, really make your voice known because this isn't just a library problem, Okay, the SEC is going after library for the Odysee platform and the way that they conduct tokens, which, might I add, library coins are not a security. They're just not.
And there's a strategy behind that. The reason why the SEC is going after library is because they can go after the small player and the one that isn't as big and supported as Bitcoin or something else, where you have Coinbase and Binance and so many others behind them. They're not going to go after Bitcoin. They're not going to go after Dogecoin because there's too much money to fight that. Library is a small upstart, and the purpose behind that is that if they can defeat library, then it sets a precedent, and then they can use that precedent to say, okay, now we hit Bitcoin, now we hit Dogecoin, now we hit Ethereum, now we hit everyone else because we set the precedent based on this small underdog that we attacked first. So that's why it's important to save library and make sure that they get the support that they deserve, so that way it doesn't affect the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem, because it will. If they go down, it takes everything with them. So everyone's saying Dogecoin to the moon. If you really care about Dogecoin or Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of the other cryptocurrencies, this is the fight to support.
Yeah.
Agreed, 100%.
Yep.
did want to add on a note that the
Oh. Your audio's not coming through, Jammy. You'd need to come closer to Mike's microphone if you want to be heard.
The Miko contest has been solved. I've already...
Up a bit more, Mike. Up a bit more.
Yes.
Our Miko has already won. I have to prove it.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
Mika fan club. I signed it myself.
yeah. Hey,
I
Mike.
just put on a light because it was too dark.
Hey, Mike. I think actually your audio is not coming through that microphone that was in your hand, because even when Jamma was like talking really loud, it just sounded like it's a laptop microphone or something. I don't know.
Have you got it on the correct setting, Mike?
I think so.
Strange.
I'll take a look.
No
Yeah. Okay.
problem. I mean, it's not really urgent. We're just casually telling Warhawk stories.
Aaron,
So-
actually, did you tell about this show in the beginning? What's the purpose here?
I did. The purpose here is completely at the whim of our listeners and the people that you see around me. We usually run space content. If you're checking us out on the other shows, you'll see that we're primarily focused at space content. And we found that we were fundamentally flawed. You know, a lot of us are into futurism and other concepts that sort of almost cross over into space, but wouldn't qualify as space chat. So the idea is that as everybody finishes their coffee, like mine's completely empty, my little logo down here, my little coffee cup is empty as well. The second each one of those coffee cups is empty, this show is going to end.
Speaking of coffee cups, do you want to play a game?
You want to play a game?
Yes.
So the game is guess what's in Kage's coffee cup. I'll give you a hint. It has 3 ingredients.
Is it vodka, and more vodka?
Close, but no.
Beer.
Anybody else?
Is it
Vodka, orange juice. I don't know, grenadine. Is that what's in it?
Nope.
No, that's...
Mike has finished his
Green.
coffee as well.
green
Tequila.
Which
green
Mike,
tea with
Marco?
vodka?
Have you finished your coffee? Jammer's still got one though, so we can let it slide.
I still have a lot.
You gotta have
I still have a bit.
Everybody still got
A lot
coffee?
of moonshine.
I'm at 1/3 left in my cup, and if there's no further guesses, I'll tell
Is
you.
it beer?
Say again?
Is it beer?
No, it's not beer.
Green tea.
So, in my coffee cup is Captain Morgan, Tuaca, and I ran out of cola, so I used Dr. Pepper, but yeah, it works.
Yeah, we would have
Yeah,
guessed that.
I was so close.
Okay. So I thought I'd be civil. So I really drink coffee and it's just right on moonshine. And here is drinking Captain Morgan.
Yeah.
Oh my
Cheers.
God. Cheers.
Yeah. It's
Normally
unfortunate
I
that
drink beer.
yeah, it's unfortunate that Tuaca is really difficult to find in Europe. It's relatively easy to find in the United States, which it's really weird because Tuaca is a Italian liqueur. It's a orange liqueur, and it makes for like, I mean, you can drink it straight if you want to, but it's really good when you mix it with other liquors. And even though it's an Italian export, you can't really find it in Europe, but you can find it real easy in the United States. So I actually had to import it.
I'm sure
I
Susie
never
might be
heard of
able
it.
to import you
I-
some.
I never heard of it. I don't
Yeah.
even. I know limoncello.
Yeah,
Like-
Tuaca, Tuaca.
Look, I used to like it.
Is it common in Italy, Susie?
Actually, yes. It's from Tuscany, but it's no longer produced in Italy
What?
Oh, that's weird.
because it
Okay.
was
That's weird.
acquired. It was acquired by the Tuaca Liqueur Company in Louisville, Kentucky. by Brown-Forman Corporation, so it's no longer an Italian product.
Really?
There we
Yes.
go.
It still says on the bottle, product of Italy.
Yes,
That's weird.
I've just
Originally.
learned from
Bottled in 1980.
I just learned from the interwebs that it was produced in Italy up until 2010. So it's been
Okay.
American for the past 11 years.
So you've got an 11-year-old bottle of Tawaka Kage.
No, I just bought it like late last year. Actually, I bought 2 bottles of it. One for myself, and the other one I shipped to Felix from What About It as as kind of like just a gift, like a Christmas gift sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he and his wife Steffi have been just downing it. They really like it.
So they are going to go to America, I think, eh?
Yeah.
They're going to
Yeah.
live in America.
Yeah, they are moving
That's
to
crazy.
America.
Then we have
So
to buy some
cool.
authentic American Tawaka then.
Yeah.
The Padres
That's
going
quite
to be
an
so
undertaking.
excited.
What was that, Bino?
I'm trying to
Oh.
find information about the current production site, but I'm struggling with it.
I will be right back. Just 1 second.
I'll be
No
back.
filling that coffee cup, Kage.
So I buy my German beer right here in Holland.
I know, the Tawaka thing now reminds me of, I remember seeing a pizza advert when I was younger, and it's a brand called Dr. Oetker, and it's like
Dr. Utke.
Dr.
I know
Oetker,
this.
so
This I know.
so they're advertising an Italian pizza made in Germany for a UK market, and it just says like on the advert the authentic taste of Italy, and I just thought, like, how true can that be when you're making an Italian product in Germany for a UK market? Like,
Their pizzas are actually pretty okay. I mean, all right, let's be honest here. So I don't know how many people in our audience know this. Even though my accent is like flat American, I live in Germany, and I have yet to have a good pizza in Germany. And by that I mean like New York style, Sicilian style, or Chicago deep dish. Oh my god, I miss Chicago deep dish. If you've never had a Chicago deep dish, it is amazing. It is it's a pizza that's this thick. Like it's not really a pizza. It's like a mixture
pizza.
between it's like a mixture between a pizza and a casserole and like maybe a
call it
lasagna in a little bit of a
pan
way.
in Holland.
Yeah, it's thick. Like you have one slice and you're just straight up food coma.
Full.
I know
Um,
what you've been missing.
Yeah.
Pineapple.
Oh God, get out right now. Leave.
Here we go.
We're trading. We must tread carefully here.
Yeah,
I had to do that.
Very carefully here. These are dire waters.
yeah.
There's
Like
two things that could end this podcast, and that's anchovies and pineapple.
okay, I have actually had anchovies on a pizza, and if they're not too salty, it's not terrible. It's not terrible, but it's not
don't
great
sound
either.
confident.
I mean, it's
I
okay.
enjoy it.
They are
I
traditional.
like olives.
On pizza are traditional. Our anchovies on pizza are straight from Naples. It's parts of the tradition. You could have in Italy we call margherita the
Capricciosa?
tomato
Capricciosa
and
one,
mozzarella and basil without anchovies, and the Napoli is the margherita with anchovies.
Oh, that's me
So
going
it's,
out of coffee.
It's
You
super
want
I
the
won't
best?
do that.
Want the best pizza, Cargo? You'd have to
Michael's
come
out
to
of
Australia,
coffee.
mate.
No,
Come
if
on.
you
A
want the
little
best
bit, a little
pizza,
bit.
you need to go to New York or Chicago. That, like, I'm sorry, I know that pizza is originally from Italy, but you know when it comes to food,
It's not originally from Italy. It didn't stop being from Italy. Actually,
No.
Italian.
Hold on.
It's not. it's not that it used to be Italian. It still is.
Okay, no, I didn't
Right
mean
on the
that
right.
that it stopped being Italian, but originally pizza was just an Italian thing, but there are a few foods where the United States took it, and I'm sorry, but we did it better. Burgers, pizza. I mean, you know, neither of those came from the United States.
I've
But
seen firsthand the American pizzas.
The
I gotta tell
hamburgers from
you got to
Hamburg.
come to Melbourne and check out Lygon Street
Yeah.
with the Italian business owners that run the places here. There's a lot of Italians here, just like in New Jersey, Brooklyn, wherever. And I'd love to see an actual comparison between the main street of pizzerias in Melbourne compared to like the real top of the line pizza joints in New York. But I do agree because they're the two players that aren't Italy, I'd say, in Pizzaland. Because when I went to Denmark, I was like, where the hell do you get a decent pizza? And I went to Italy and I was like, where the hell do you get a decent pizza? It's literally...
And in New York, you just take a slice and that's okay.
Yeah, you could used to be able to do that here, but there's like one restaurant that's been here since I was born, Topolino's, and it's still the best pizza place that you can go to in Melbourne. It's probably in the Lonely Planet book, but it's like you can get roasted vegetables on a pizza if you want. You can get like, I'd have to say, I'd really be curious to see someone come from the States, from New York, come over and like go, okay, we're going to take you to a couple of pizza joints, see what you think. Yeah, I've had a few people tell me this pizza trumps everything, and they've been all over the place. But yeah, that's probably the best thing you could probably look forward to coming to Melbourne is pizza.
The Total Space Pizza Tour.
Yeah, I mean, this is a coffee show, but
Speaking of coffee, come on, cups up. Who's still got coffee?
Next time it's going to be a pizza party.
I still got a quarter left of my coffee.
Still
So-
got a
it's
quarter
kind of
left.
the
I mean,
Italian
beverage-
way.
How about
to
you,
have a coffee
Shabalsk?
after.
Wow.
So we're counting you out already, look. We'll turn your
Yeah.
cup off.
I was not really prepared for this coffee thing,
Comes to a
and I
coffee
don't
club
have
without a coffee.
But I drank coffee today enough, so at least.
We'll accept this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But only
You
this
could
time.
actually call the podcast Free Radical.
Next time, Shabalsk, if there's no coffee, then it's like either a cup of coffee or 2 litre of a spirited alcoholic drink. So you'll really want to bring the coffee next time.
Okay.
What about tea? I drink tea a lot too.
Tea. The thing is, although we're calling it the coffee club, I think more of an inside joke because we're forever talking about how Total Space is fueled by coffee. You know, like as an example, our lowest Patreon tier at $1 is like a coffee fund. He outright says that you're just supporting coffee, nothing else. You know, like
And that's
pretty much
That's
powered
how
by
the-
coffee.
those are the words of an Englishman.
No,
right.
it's supposed to be
How
tea
is
for
this
Englishmen, isn't
possible?
it? I think everybody
it's
assumes I'm
supposed to be tea.
But even then, I do have a cup that says all you need is tea and cake on it, so I can kind of see where the stereotype comes from in British people.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was scones.
Yeah.
Scone. I might just scratch the cake out and just write scone in
Yeah.
marker pen.
Tea and scones?
Just needs biscuits written there.
I mean, this is the best part, isn't it? Like, whether
Crumpets.
it's space, this or that, it's just multicultural diversity right here and right now.
But does nobody think crumpets are sort of like sponge? Because I know me and Susie had a conversation about how much she likes crumpets a couple of weeks ago, weirdly enough. Does nobody else just get the feeling like you're eating a sponge when you're like a sponge with a bit of
I think
butter on
I've never
when you're
had
eating
it.
crumpets?
I've never
I
had a
never
crumpet.
had it.
Me neither.
Never.
What it is.
Apple
Crumpets
crumble
are-
pie. Apple crumble pie, something like that. I had that.
There's a theory I've got with crumpets. It's like those people that hate the word moist don't like crumpets.
But I mean, Susie,
Okay.
you and I were talking about even potentially sending you some if you couldn't find any locally to you, weren't we?
Oh, you look at them
No,
and go, nah.
I couldn't find them locally, but I acquired the ingredients to make them at home. But I'm putting them off because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And then you have to eat them, and I'm trying to avoid temptation of any kind.
The big catch.
Once you eat, the bad thing about baking is that baking is all fun, but then you end up with a finished product that it's potentially very good, and most of the times you shouldn't be eating that stuff. So I'm trying to avoid. I turned baking down to the minimum because it's dangerous to have baked
A moment
goods
on the lips, a
lying
lifetime on
around
the
the
hips.
I've heard that.
A moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have to give that all that stuff away. And I have friends. I call friends and say, I baked something. Do you want some? No, please. I'm trying to avoid this kind of stuff. So
Okay.
I know a
If you
person
hate
that
them,
does that.
if you hate them, you give them crumpets. Get fat. Get fat, you. Get
So
fat and die. Yeah.
I just checked Amazon Fresh and a couple other places local to me, a couple other major grocery stores. None of them sell crumpets, so I don't think I'm going to get the opportunity to learn what it tastes like unless unless I can make it into the UK at some point.
I mean, you and I will speak
in the box.
speak after this show, and I can hook you up, Cargay. I'm sure I can get you some crumpets sent out
We've got
expedited
the
delivery.
golden crumpets.
Okay, I heard that you can order Chicago-style pizza online that comes frozen.
I think-
There's a pizzeria in the city that I live in that actually from time to time does Chicago deep dish. I missed the last order that they did because it just sold out like instantly. Since the pandemic started, they haven't really been doing a whole lot of those kind of specials, but I've been keeping an eye out for the next time that they do so. I think one or two of the people that own the place are from the United States, so they make it like authentic Chicago style deep dish. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that because then it'll especially be fresh and delicious, and then I can have a slice of it and then just get knocked out for 2 days from food coma.
Food
You should
coma.
start a petition, Cargo.
Say again?
Start a petition to say, put that damn pizza in Europe, will you?
Yeah, dude, I still it blows my mind that it's I don't know what it is, but Germany just
beer.
can't do pizza right. I love this country, but they suck at pizza.
So any
And-
German that's
Die
willing to
können
make a
Bratwurst-
drive to take
Bratwurst können sie
Cargate
aber.
pizza.
Und Kartoffeln.
Yeah. The closest thing that we have here is there's like Domino's and stuff like that. So it basically tastes the same as US Domino's, but it's Domino's. It's not like homemade pizzeria style pizza. So it's just
There's no real
A
crust
New
going
York
on there.
pizza doesn't taste like pizza from New York at all.
no. If you want to have like a really good New York pizza, there's I believe it's the oldest pizzeria in the United States, Lombardi's in New York City, and
Yeah.
it does not taste like modern pizza. It's a much simpler flavor before they started adding all these spices and everything else to it. But Lombardi's pizza, I've had it, and oh my god, it's so perfect in its simplicity. It's just
We got the traditional mozzarella as well.
it's
The white
the
one.
same recipes that they've been doing since 1908. So
Napoli's where the pizza started, and they had the other mozzarella that's white. They use a lot of that in their recipes. But they put it on their pizza in Napoli. And I think the traditional pizza houses can do it as well. But that's actually pretty good. I can't eat it, but it's pretty good.
Lactose intolerant.
Vegan, mate. Shoot me
Oh,
down while
vegan,
you
okay.
can.
Yeah. No problem. That's okay. Yeah.
But look, but Benno, we'll go under the bus together. Like, I can safely say that one of the biggest sort of like deciders in my vegan lifestyle. You know, I was toying with the idea for a while. Naturally, everybody knows I want to go to Mars, and going vegan increases that chance. But I genuinely think like a lot of that early support of sort of staying vegan was Benno. Like, you know, if he hadn't been there, there's a very good chance I'd have joined the podcast tonight, stuffing my face with bacon or like a cheeseburger or something. So,
Because it's
much
like
love, Benno.
people ask me, no worries. People ask me for feedback and things, but I don't sugarcoat nothing. I was like, vegan sucks, man. You know, at the start especially.
No,
You're
I've
gonna hate
had this.
everything.
I've had this conversation with Space Nut previously. That actually, and Nut, you'll appreciate this. I have a grocery order that's coming in on Monday, where I'm getting like a couple of dozen vegan burger patties. That's that same brand that I've been eating previously. So,
The Fry's Kitchen.
I know I forget the name of the brand off the top of my head, but the thing is, like, it's not like I'm trying to go vegan or anything. It's just
No.
I like to have I'm a big boy as I slap my belly. I'm a bit of a big boy. I like just different kind of flavors and different kind of mouthfeels and umami and all that sort of stuff. And I'm not looking for a one-to-one analog of this vegan burger tastes exactly like a beef burger. No, that's
you
not
want
what I'm looking
something
for.
else.
I'm looking for just a different thing that I can have that I
A nice
I
flavour
like
profile.
vegetarian. Yeah, I
An-
like
an
vegetarian and
interesting-
vegan meals from time to
Interesting
time.
bite.
Yeah.
Plant-based.
Say again?
And something, an interesting bite. You know, a different. It can be vegetable, but it has to have a certain something. If it's meat or vegetable, I'm not a vegetarian or vegan, but
Yeah.
so but that's okay. It's very good actually.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the grow meat? You know the
Cultured meat.
you have like a the cultured meat.
Mixed bag. It's a mixed bag.
Haven't tried it, so I don't know. I mean, what's important for me is, does it have a good mouthfeel? Does it have a good flavor?
Yeah.
Is it savory? Does it have that umami to it?
What do you
Does it
have
have
to do to
that? Yeah. Is it? I'm not looking for that meat replacement. I'm looking for just a different kind of meal. And one of the things that I actually really like about vegan burgers in particular is that, like, if you eat a beef burger, you kind of get like a bit of a heavy feeling on the stomach, and it'll like knock you
Lethargic.
out, and you'll get that food coma just because of all the red meat and the grease
The
and
meat
everything.
wall.
Yeah, you hit that meat wall. Whereas with a vegan burger, you can eat one or two of them, and you feel full, but you don't feel tired after it. So I mean, it's tasty. I actually quite like it. I mean,
Sorry, what?
That's nice.
you'll never take chicken away from me. I'm okay with not eating red meat so very often. But I'll always eat chicken, bacon. I will fight a man over trying to take bacon away from me.
That's the
Have you
most,
seen the
the
Al
most common
Murray,
argument.
the pub landlord? He did a sketch on how
Eat
bacon
him.
proves the existence of God.
Yeah. So actually, I made a. Okay, this is if there are any vegans that are watching this, I'm sorry, this is going to offend you. I made a couple of vegan burgers that had salami and bacon on it.
You know, that reminds me of Kagi. Before I was vegan, I actually used to order. My favorite dish was to get a pizza, a vegetarian pizza with ham. So they put more veggies on it, and
Yeah,
then pay
yeah.
the same price. Because if you ask for a ham, a normal, like, you know, what do they call it, a margarita? What's the one with ham? It's just like a Hawaiian without pineapple, but, you know, a normal pizza. I'd ask, you know, you ask for the extra, or can I have some onions on that, or can I have some mushrooms? And the next thing you know, it's $20 more
Cups
because
down.
you added all that
already
vegetables.
marked
But if
your
you get a
cup as down.
vegetarian pizza and say put ham on it, it's $1, covers the whole pizza, and you're good to go. But it's like, you know, I don't think there's a day where I really sit there for a moment after 10 years of being vegan and go, oh, I really would love to have one of those. You know, I think maybe someone will talk about something I used to do as a ritual. maybe once a month. You know, you go and eat fast food or something. Where you get your favorite Burger King.
Yeah,
Go some beers, go with
really
your friends
dig
and
into
just
it.
just go dig out for once a month or something.
Yeah,
I miss
yeah.
actually the negligence more so than what it was I was eating. It's like I miss being that ignorant. But the one thing I
Actually,
said to Alan along the way is you get really good at reading the ingredients on things, and it's something I wish I'd learnt and taken notice of a lot earlier in life. So I mean, the thing
my
is,
12-year-old son is vegan.
Yeah.
And he probably
that's
asks you every time, "What's in that, Dad? What's in that?"
Yeah.
What's in that?
Yeah.
And that's what I think. That's all there is to be had about the whole thing with everybody. Like, just know what it is you're putting in your body, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also what you're used to, huh? With what you grew up with. Because I grew up with meatballs, so yeah, that was normal.
I remember just having some. I get like back problems and hip problems just from, I was like, what's this? What's happening to me? And I was only like 30 at the time. And my girlfriend at the time, we went to a falafel bar, and they had she was already vegan and her daughter as well. So they ordered like salads and things like that, and I went for a chicken souvlaki. And later that night, it was the third time in my life where I got food poisoning from meat. And that was the night I decided. I was like, I'm done with meat. I'm done. Because I was sick of getting poisoned, from takeaway shops and stuff. Because it's like you just, that's everybody's got their own experience, but in the end, it's like that first 3 months of just not knowing what the hell's going on. Because when I started it, nothing was out there. I had to literally construct it all from scratch. Now you've got, since I've started doing it, there's all these things coming out, even showing Aaron 6 months ago, there's a cheese that's vegan. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, give it a crack. To see it sort of come into fruition internationally from other places and stuff, it's getting more. There's just more choices for everyone to take care of themselves, which is great.
Yeah, it's a bigger market. It's really growing, because we also have vegan shops now everywhere here in Hengelo.
It's like having friends that are gluten-free, gluten intolerant. That's been a big one for a while, I've noticed, and I find that I'm not gluten intolerant, but I have to go to that gluten-free source for a bit of food to get the full vegan experience sometimes, most of the time. But I'm really not a fan of the gluten-free pizza base. I think it's the shittest thing I've ever tasted. And
that's funny.
I'm gonna be the first one to swear on Coffee Club to say that.
But that's okay because we're allowed here. We are still live, Marco.
Actually, I'm a little bit lactose intolerant, a little bit.
Yeah.
Tonight is ribeye steaks on the barbecue here, so we're gonna buck the trend. We're old school.
Can you send me some?
Have you seen the digital one? He's already sent in the Coffee Club Total Space, the Coffee Club Discord server. Nice big slab. He's gonna have some nice ribs out of that.
As like you were saying before, Cargo, you're not looking to replace things, and it's actually a lot of companies are trying that, and that's where they fall so far beneath the benchmark, because it not only tastes bad, it's the fact that they've tried to trick. It's like a bad thumbnail on a YouTube video.
Yeah.
You just take a bite and you're like, why did I even bother? And the supermarkets charge you 3 times as much because it's gluten free.
The first experience is negative, and then they'll never do it. So then you think, you just think, beep off, F off.
I think they'll find a nice.
And I take something else, So if you put it on the market, it has to work. It has to be a good.
And the other cool thing is your sense of smell. Being vegan is different. It enhances a little bit. Your senses enhance a little bit. But when I went out to dinner at restaurants and stuff, it was a little bit hard because people were just looking at me like, why are you different? It's like, well, if I was eating the same thing as you, you wouldn't be caring right now. But for some reason, people get a little bit insecure about someone being different or something. They don't know how to act all of a sudden. and they start ordering for you and things like that. It's like, what are you doing? You don't know what you're doing.
Oh,
You know,
But,
that's actually the brain telling you, okay, that's the same thing with racism. But your brain is telling you, this is normal. This is what everybody is doing, and they see you doing something else, and they think, okay, that's not normal, and
Yeah.
that's actually how our brain works. So
you get targeted.
we can't help it.
You know, one
It's
of the
nature.
things that's kind of really interesting about veganism is like there's this long running joke of who are the two people who will never shut up about their style of life, vegans and people who do CrossFit. But in reality, if you look at it, it's not really that true. Like the people who don't shut up about it are people who don't understand or don't accept vegans, who are meat eaters, who just berate vegans about, yeah, I could never give up meat. You should eat meat. Where do you get your protein from? Man, you know, the one thing I can't stand about vegans is they just never shut up, and they don't stop and just continually berate vegans, and they're just sitting there like, dude, this is just my life choice. Why are you being a jerk about this?
I saw someone post on Twitter last week that forcing your child to be vegan is bad parenting, and I'm like, there was no need to say vegan at the end of that. Forcing your child to do anything is bad, but for whatever reason, because that person likes eating meat, they just figured they'd just point out the vegan element.
People think the Earth is flat, though.
But the one thing is saying, well, going
and
before
dinosaurs
is that,
didn't exist.
Yeah, the Earth is only 4,000 years old. Forget the fact that lead is millennia older than that, and everything else that proves it. Yeah, let's just go for stupid beliefs.
But the one thing that
OMG.
I noticed that when I'm at a restaurant or people are cooking a barbecue or something like that, I can tell whether the meat's good or not straight away.
Yeah.
I can tell people that's good meat. I can tell them straight away because it actually smells good.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's not,
actually,
it's not good.
My father-in-law is actually a butcher. It's true. It's true.
Like that's. I worked in a butcher, ironically, when I was a teenager, and I know good meat. It's like I can say to people, don't be worried that I'm not eating meat or something.
But you can smell it also.
Yeah, you can totally smell it, and it's like, that's where I'm like, I can't go back even if I wanted to, because I know from having accidents happen with the wrong, like chicken salt, for instance. I put chicken salt on chips and stuff. You'd be like, can I have no salt? And they make the mistake, and you go and take a bite. And you're like, oh god, that taste won't leave your brain for a day.
Are we going to do a coffee check, guys? Who's still got coffee left?
Yeah.
But before we
is
do
that
that,
empty, Gemma?
but
Gemma
before we do that though, Miko and Szabolcs, what are your thoughts on veganism and vegan food? Have you tried anything vegan? Do you like it? What do you think?
I have tried, but I do have a couple of cousins who are vegans, and there was some forcing me to eat some vegan things. I mean, some of those things I like, but I'm allergic to nuts, and most of the vegan stuff has nuts, and so it's just easier to eat normal for me.
See, this is the other thing, allergies and stuff. Like, I say to anyone, like any woman that wants to go vegan, I highly suggest not, because the iron intake's important for them. But I'd be like, if you know how to manage everything you need, if you've got a supplement or something, but I wouldn't recommend it to,
Yeah.
Szabolcs, what about you?
One of those
you have to have the right
So I was working. I was working together with a colleague, guy who was in the army and was also running a lot, and also a software developer actually, and a guy from the US, and actually he was also in Croatia when there was the war, and so the guy was really cool and quite strong, athletic, and he was kind of vegetarian. So he was not vegan, but rather vegetarian. But sometimes he was not that strict. So sometimes when the restaurant menu was that there was no good choice for a vegetarian food, he did take some meat, but of course white meat rather. And actually, I'm thinking about this thing to go to vegetarian, because I can feel that sometimes it's good. It's easier to digest. Exactly what you mentioned. It's the meat wall. You don't feel that low on energy after eating that. So and I can feel that it can be healthy, but I drink a lot of milk actually, also eating eggs, not only in the form of cakes, as Susie mentioned, but so vegan is a bit too far from me, but vegetarian is not that far.
Have you
I
tried any like vegetarian or vegan or specifically like vegan substitutes, and not to substitute for a meat, but just to like add an additional item to your diet? Like what do you think of them?
Yeah, in many years ago, when there was this tofu and what was the other one? The protein.
Like soy or
Yeah, soy. Yeah, this soy stuff instead of the meat. So we tried that, but that was really a long time ago, and that was in the early years when they were introduced in wider for more
When you just
people.
bought it as a generic block of just like unflavoured tofu.
Tempeh. You know tempeh.
Liverwort.
They call it tempeh. You mean tempeh, yeah? Isn't it?
Yeah.
So, tempeh
Oh,
and I think they call it tempeh. Is it correct? Or-
No, I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe.
Satan.
oh, seitan. Oh my god, I love that stuff. If seitan, unlike tofu, it soaks up the flavor of the sauce that you're cooking it in. The mouthfeel is amazing. It's kind of like chicken in a way. And there's this udon noodle shop I over in the center of the city that I live in, and they make it's purely vegan. They make this udon noodle dish that they put in like a bamboo steaming bowl and everything, and it has tofu, which is just the right kind of texture. It's not too soft and squishy, not too hard. And then they also have a lot of seitan in it, and oh my god, the mouthfeel is amazing.
So, with that in mind, Kage, do me a beverage check.
That's good, man.
You're the last man
I
standing.
can do you one better.
Oh, that's a big cup. I'd say if
All
I went
done.
back and had to decide again, I'd probably just go dairy free. That'd be me, I reckon.
So we're all done.
Sometimes the
I'm
speed's
out.
good.
Not done.
That's a bunch of
Well
empty
done.
cups. Thank you
Yeah.
for joining us today, guys. That's conversation over.
All right.
I mean, we could keep going.
We can, but I think in line with the premise of the show, we're going to call it here on Odysee. Thank you to everybody that joined us today when we were live. This will be uploaded afterwards on Odysee as well, for you to check back
And there
at a
wasn't
later
mention
date.
of Starship.
I will put the link to the Discord server for Coffee Club under this video when it's uploaded back on Odysee. And
It's actually in the description already.
it's already in the description. There you go. Even better. If you
Have we
want to
got some
join,
outro music?
pardon?
Have we got outro music?
We don't have outro music. We're amateur hour, I'm
maybe
afraid,
next
for
time.
Coffee Club this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the stream deck going next time.
Yeah. Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Odyssey today.
Yeah.
Wait, one more thing
And
before
join
you
us
end the stream.
for the after party in this.
Yeah. Well, okay,
This
two
is
more
the
things
after party.
before you end the stream.
Yeah.
One is join the Discord in the description if you haven't already, and two, big thanks to Odysee for making this happen. Really big thanks to them for building this platform and giving us another option other than Twitch and YouTube. So really appreciate that from them, and this is a brand new feature for Odysee, being able to do live streams. So we're among the first content creators to trial this out. So it's still a little bit buggy. It has some things to work out, but really happy to do this with Odysee. Again, thank you folks so much for building this platform and giving us this opportunity.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome job.
Thank you for everybody that stopped by on Discord as well. We did have a bunch of people that got fed up of our wall stories and nonsense, just general shit talking. They all vanished over the last hour or so. But thank you for everybody that did join us, assuming you were getting something better before realising you weren't. Thank you once again for everybody viewing on Odysee. Say bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.